Quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics is the study of processes which occur at the atomic scale. The word quantum is derived from Latin to mean bundle. The motion of objects that come in small bundles is called quanta. The tiny bundles that we are referring to are electrons traveling around the nucleus. Wave and particle nature. Particle has mass and it located at definite point. It can move from one place to another. Particle gives energy when slowed down or stopped. Particle has mass, velocity, momentum, energy. Whereas wave has frequency, wavelength, phase or phase velocity, amplitude, intensity. The wave The wave is spread out over a relatively large region of space. It cannot be said to be located just here and there. It is hard to think of mass being associated with a wave. A wave is nothing but rather is a spread out disturbance. Wave appears difficult to accept the conflicting ideas that radiation has dual nature. Radiation is a wave which is spread out over space and also particle which is localized at a point in space. This acceptance is essential because radiation sometimes behave as a wave and at other times as a particle as explained. Radiations including visible light, infrared, ultraviolet X-rays, etc. behave as waves in experiments based on interference diffraction. This is due to the fact that these phenomena require the presence of two waves at the same position and at the same time. Obviously, it is difficult for the two particles to occupy the same position at the same time. Planck's quantum theory was successful in explaining black body radiation, photoelectric effect, Compton effect, and had clearly established that the radiant energy in its interaction with matter behaves as though it consists of corpuscles. Here, radiation interacts with matter in the form of photons or quanta. We conclude that radiations behave like a particle. Radiations thus sometimes behave as a wave and at some other time it is behave as a particle. It has wave particle dualism. Hence it is a dual character. And here it should be remembered that radiation cannot exhibit its particle and wave properties simultaneously. Waves spread in space and time can be superimposed. Particles pass through each other localized in space and time cannot pass through each other. They are bounds or shattered. Expression for wavelength of matter wave. The mathematical expression for the wavelength of matter wave can be derived by taking photon into consideration in radiation. According to the photon consideration, an electromagnetic wave is associated with photon and photon is controlled by a light wave of frequency v. By applying Planck's relation E equals to h nu, according to Einstein's theory, we know that a particle of mass is equivalent to energy, that is E equals to mc square. If photon attains a mass m during its motion with velocity v c, then we can write in the place of E, we write h nu that equals to h nu equals to mc square. The momentum of photon, we know that the momentum of photon p equals to mc, mass into velocity. So we write h nu equals to pc. We know that c equals to v by lambda. Therefore, lambda equals to h by p. And substituting p value, p equals to mv, lambda equals to h by nu. Some cases are discussed in the following. First case. If the particle is accelerated through kinetic energy ek, then the formula is ek equals to 1 by 2 mv square, where m is velocity and m is mass and v is velocity. that equals to of multiplying and dividing m on both m on numerator and denominator, we get p square by 2m. Sending 2m on other side and square rooting both sides, we get p equals to square root of 2m ek. The expression for the de Broglie wavelength is lambda equals to h by square root of 2m ek. Second case, if the particle is accelerated with the help of electrostatic energy, then the kinetic energy can be given by Ek equals to QV, where V is the accelerating potential and Q is the charge. Momentum of the particle P equals to square root of 2mQV. The de Broglie wavelength associated with the particle equals to lambda equals to h by square root of 2mQV. Third case, when the particle is accelerated with the help of thermal energy, then its kinetic energy can be given as Ek equals to 3 by 2 kT, where k is Boltzmann constant. The value of k is 1.38 into 10 power minus 23 joule per Kelvin, and T is the absolute temperature. The momentum of the particle will be given as P equals to square root of 2m Ek. Substituting Ek value, we get square root of 2m into 3 by 2 kt, that equals to square root of 3m kt. The expression for wavelength is lambda equals to h by square root of 3m kt. Fourth case, when the particle is moving with a velocity comparable to the light, then the mass particle no longer remains constant. It will vary according to the following equation. M equals to m naught by square root of 1 minus v square by c square, where m is the mass of the particle during its motion and m naught is the rest mass of the particle, and v is the velocity of the particle, c is the velocity of light. The expression for de Broglie wavelength will be slightly modified, that is lambda equal, we know that lambda equals to h by mv. By substituting m value in it, lambda equals to h into square root of 1 minus v square c square by m naught v. Fifth case, de Broglie's wavelength is associated with electron. Let us consider an electron of rest mass m naught and charge E accelerated by potential difference V. The kinetic energy is half m naught v square equals to eV. The velocity of the electron v equals to square root of 2eV by m naught. De Broglie's wavelength associated with the electron lambda equals to h by m naught v equals to, substituting v, then lambda equals to h into m naught by m naught into square root of 2eV, where h is Planck's constant. Planck's constant value h is 6.625 into 10 power minus 34 joule second. By substituting the values, we get lambda equals to 12.126 by root v Armstrong. Properties of matter waves. Light is a particle, greater is the wavelength associated with it. And second one, smaller is the velocity of the particle, greater is the wavelength associated with it. When v equals to 0, lambda equals to infinity, wave becomes intermediate, and if v is infinity, then lambda is 0. We know that lambda equals to h by p, that equals to h by mv. This shows that matter waves are generated by the motion of particles. These waves are produced whether the particles are charged particles or they're uncharged. This fact reveals that these waves are not electromagnetic waves, but they are new kind of waves. The velocity of matter waves depends on the velocity of material particle. It is not a constant, while the velocity of electromagnetic wave is constant. The wave and particle aspects of moving bodies can never appear together in the same experiment. What we can say is the waves have particle-like properties and particles have wave-like properties. The concepts are inseparably linked. Matter wave representation is only a symbolic representation. The wave nature of matter introduces an uncertainty in the location of the position of the particle. Wave cannot be said exactly at this point or exactly at that point. Wave is large, there is a good chance of finding the particle, while wave is small, there is a small chance of finding the particle. Detection of matter waves. A wave associated with the motion of particle is known as a matter wave. Matter waves are generated by the microscopic and macroscopic bodies. Wavelengths of matter waves associated with the macroscopic bodies are so small they can't be detected by any instrument. Before 1924, the electron was exclusively recorded as a particle, but after the selection of de Broglie, the electron was given as a wave-particle duality. There are many experimental evidence which prove that the electron is a particle as it has a definite mass, charge, energy and momentum. At the same time, there are some experimental evidences which prove that electron has a wave nature as well as wave is associated with the electron during its motion. Davison and German diffraction experiment and G.B. Thomson experiment explains the wave nature of electrons. This Davison and German diffraction experiment. The first experimental evidence of matter wave was given by two American physicists, Davison and German in 1927. This is the schematic diagram of Davison and Germer experiment. The materials used in the experiment is galvanometer, slit, cathode and the battery of contains anion and cation and in voltage. The scattering of light the scattering of light is found at the angle of 50. This is the These are the graphs of incident beam and accelerating voltages. At 54 voltage, the angle is 50 degrees. With the electron beam incident perpendicular to the crystal surface, announcer scattering direction was found to be 50 degrees for electron accelerated to 54 volts. According to de Broglie's electron wave, lambda equals to 12.126 by root V. By substituting V value 54, in that we get lambda equals to 1.67 Armstrong. If we see the diagram, D is the grating space between the slits. From X-rays analysis, it is known that nickel crystal acts as a plane diffraction grating with grating speed D equals to 0.909 into 10 power minus 10 meters. According to the experiment, we have diffracted electron beam at an angle 50. So, the corresponding branch angle theta dash equals to 180 minus 50 by 2. The formula is 180 minus theta by 2. Here the angle makes 50, so 180 minus theta by 2 65 degrees. Using the Bragg's formula, 2d sine theta equals to n lambda. By substituting d value and theta values, we know that n equals to 1 from the diagram. Therefore, lambda is finally 1.65 Armstrong. As the two values are in good agreement, confirms the de Broglie concept of matter waves. G.B. Thomson experiment. G.B. Thomson performed experiments with electrons accelerated from 10,000 to 5,000 volts. In his experiments, he observed diffraction patterns exactly similar to X-ray patterns. Moreover, he was able to determine the wavelengths associated with the electrons. Thomson experiment supported the concept of matter waves. Diffraction pattern is possible only if the waves are associated with the material particle. After developing a plate, a symmetrical pattern consisting of concentrics about ce- central spot is obtained. And this is the concentric rings and the central spot is obtained in the diffraction pattern. This pattern is similar as produced by X-rays. In order to make sure that this pattern is due to the electrons and not due to the X-rays, for this he applied a magnetic field on the path of electron beam in the discharge tube. A shift in the electron beam direction has been observed with the applied magnetic field. It shows that the pattern is produced by electrons and not by the X-rays. The observed rings can be interpreted only by considering the diffraction pattern of the electron beam, which is due to the gold aluminum foil. As the diffraction pattern can only be produced by waves and not by the particles, Thomson concluded that the electrons behave like waves. The following conclusions have been drawn from the experiment. First one. The Thomson experiment clearly demonstrated the existence of matter waves because the diffraction pattern can be produced by the waves. Second one. Thomson calculated the wavelength associated with the electrons with the help of diffraction rings. Third one. The calculated wavelengths obtained by the diffraction pattern agreed well with the wavelengths obtained by the de Broglie's relation. Fourth one, the associated wavelength depends only on the accelerating voltage and is independent of the material of the target, like gold. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Due to the dual nature of particles, it is very difficult to locate the exact position and momentum of the particle simultaneously. This uncertainty was explained by Werner Carl Heisenberg in 1927 through the uncertainty principle. Uncertainty in the measurement of position and momentum of microscopic particles are in a narrow wave packet, the position of particle can be precisely determined, but not in the wavelength. The particle movements cannot be measured accurately as there are not enough waves to exactly measure the wavelength. On the other hand, in a wider wave packet, the wavelength can be determined exactly, but the position of particle will uncertain due to the large width of the wedge packet. Hence, it can be concluded that it is impossible to simultaneously determine the exact position and exact momentum of a particle. The Heisenberg's uncertainty principle states that it is not possible to simultaneously measure the position and the momentum of particle at any desired degree of accuracy. In other words, the product of uncertainty in the measurement of position, uncertainty in the measurement of momentum is delta p, and is it always constant, and it is at least equal to the Planck's constant. Planck's constant h equals to uncertainty in the momentum delta p into uncertainty in the measurement position delta x. The product of uncertainties in the position of momentum is equal to greater than h by 4 pi. Therefore, delta x into delta p greater than or equals to h by 4 pi. Schrodinger time independent. We know that dou square delta square equals to dou square by dou x square plus dou square by dou y square plus dou square by dou z square. We know that psi of x comma y comma z comma t equals to psi naught of x comma y comma z comma t into e power minus omega t, where t is the time. Differentiating with the equation 1 with respect to t, twice differentiation, we get dou square psi by dou t square equals to minus omega square psi. Equating the twice differentiations, we get that equation dou square lambda square into v square plus omega square by v square psi equals to 0. We know that omega equals to 2 pi n, where n is the velocity omega equals to 2 pi n, that is n equals to c by lambda. By substituting this, we get dou into delta square plus 4 pi square by delta square lambda square into psi equals to 0. We know that kinetic energy equals to half mv square, that equals to E minus V. By substituting this, we get the required equation delta square psi plus 8 pi square m by h square into E minus V psi equals to 0. Differentiating with respect to t and using the formulas, by substituting into this, we get the final E psi equals to IH dou psi by dou t. Delta square psi by 2m by h square into IH dou psi by dou t minus V psi equals to 0. The final equation is minus h square by 2m delta square psi plus V psi equals to IH by dou psi by dou t, where h bar h top is Hamilton operator. By using Hamilton operator and energy operator, the following conditions to be used. General solution is lambda equals to a sin kx plus b cos kx. At v equals to 0, at x equals to 0, b becomes 0. At v equals to 0 and x equals to l, a sin kl equals to 0. Since a is not equals to 0, so kl equals to n pi. Dou n of x equals to a sin n pi x by l. Energy of particle En equals to k square h square by 8 pi square m equals to n square pi square h square by l square 8 pi square m. En equals to n square h square by 8 m l square. By integrating dou and dou star, substituting the values, we get the final a equals to square root of 2 by l.